from Columbia, this is WIS News 10 at 7. Live, local, now.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on WIS News 10 as we continue our live team coverage tracking Idalia as those storms move through South Carolina.
We have reporters stationed live across the Midlands with real-time reports. But first, we want to get to our meteorologist, our chief meteorologist, for an update on what we're seeing now. Adam?
Thank you very much. Yes, we've got a warning across most of the Midlands. It excludes Saluda, Newberry, and Fairfield County. So every county over to the east, and this is until further notice. The tropical storm force winds are likely. We also have a flood watch for the entire region until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That means we have to watch out for water rising. In fact, there is a flood warning down to the south and east. In this box that you see right here, we have a flood warning in effect. So we'll get the latest details on that right here. We'll click on it. And so you can see flash flood warning until 9:30 Wednesday. So just until 9:30 tonight, we can see rapidly rising rivers and streams. So please be careful. Don't cross any of those streams. Where's the center of the storm? It's down around Savannah currently, and it's moving just north of Hilton Head. The heaviest rain right here, but we've got our own downpours here throughout the Midlands, and they're all just kind of moving in from the south and east. So more heavier rain pushing in around Columbia, also down towards Manning. We've got some downpours down that way, and here in Columbia and down to the south and east. That's where we've got the heaviest rain. Here around Columbia, you can see that rain in the town, also around Vance, St. George, Orangeburg, Bamberg, heavy downpours, and even some lightning detected. That's kind of a rarity when you're dealing with a tropical system. But that tells you that this band right here in Orangeburg County is extremely strong. It's just south of that county line, actually, and around Dorchester. So severe storm risk is there. We've got an enhanced risk from Myrtle Beach stretching down towards Charleston and Hilton Head. It's a slight risk in the area shaded in yellow, and we're looking at a marginal risk in the area shaded in green. With what we can expect with the rest of the system and how much rain we've seen so far, here's meteorologist Vaughn Gaskin.
All right, here's a look at our first alert radar, because we just want to show you kind of the lay of the land, if you will. You can see how wide the storm is. It's spreading out a little bit. And as we look at the center of circulation, it is finally starting to cross now into the state of South Carolina, where the end of that little indicator is right here. This is where you're going to find the storm when we get the next update. So even though the indicator is here, it's really at the end of this line. That's where it has moved since the 5 o'clock time frame. And with it moving at 21 miles per hour, it's booking it. It's moving pretty fast. That northeast movement continues. Right now, the winds are at 70 miles per hour. And you can see it's expected to continue to slide just to the south of Moncks Corners. What we're expecting is going to be north of Charleston and then continue to move away from McClellanville and Charleston County as a tropical storm. So it's still going to be packing a punch, even as it moves off the coast, probably somewhere near Little River, Myrtle Beach, somewhere in there, and over towards Wilmington before it kind of moves back out to sea as a tropical storm, winds at 60 miles per hour. So that official forecast track in place for us now. We'll probably be getting an update pretty soon. The rainfall is still coming down at a pretty good clip. As we look at the rainfall rates, you can see where the deep red is. Those are rates that are starting to approach about 5 inches in an hour. If it were to rain at that rate in that area for an hour, that would be 5 additional inches. So where are we with our observed rainfall at this point? Now, we are coming in with 1 inch in St. Matthews, about 2.5 inches in Orangeburg, about 1.5 inches in Lexington. But if we dig down a little bit deeper, we can look inside of some of these areas in between the observation sites, and we're coming in with well over 3.5 to 4 inches in some areas. And that does include Orangeburg County, St. George, right along that I-95 stretch. They're probably at about 4 inches now. And the areas across the border in Georgia, 8 inches. That's what that deep red color is. So they are really picking up those numbers. The winds continue to come in around the system. Right now we're tracking 16 miles per hour in Lexington, 15 miles per hour in St. Matthews, and a gust of 37 in Orangeburg was just recorded, 28 in Aiken, and 25 miles per hour in Lexington, 22 miles per hour in Columbia. Of course, we'll have more updates, and we'll tell you a little bit more about what's going on with Idalia as it crosses through South Carolina coming up.
All right, Vaughn, thank you so much. Well, of course, with so much rain moving through the area, out of an abundance of caution, state leaders are urging everyone to just stay home, stay put tonight if you don't have to be out on the road.
Right. During a briefing today led by Governor McMaster, officials said that while this storm is not the worst South Carolina has ever seen, it still has the potential to be dangerous. Mary Green is in the Emergency Operations Center inside the South Carolina Emergency Management Division in West Columbia, where the governor and state leaders held that briefing today. Mary?
Well, Dondi, Judy, right now the state's Emergency Operations Center is at OPCON 2. That's the middle of 3 levels. So not quite the highest level of alert, but certainly not a normal day here in South Carolina. What this means is that operations plans are now in place, and they'll be staffed here around the clock until after the storm passes through as they coordinate South Carolina's emergency efforts.
Current priorities here at the State Emergency Operations Center include support to counties, that's our primary mission, and contingency planning for possible transportation, additional sheltering, supply, and equipment missions.
The state is expecting around 200,000 power outages across South Carolina in the coming hours. Restoration can't begin until winds die down, and crews will work during daylight hours. The Department of Transportation says all major highways and bridges are still open for now, but it does expect some flooding on roads. DOT advises South Carolinians to stay off highways until this storm passes if you don't need to travel.
We are ready to respond very quickly and produce a very effective recovery on the flip side.
Now, there are a few shelters open around the state right now, manned by the Department of Social Services, and more are expected to open later where counties determine there's a need.
We recommend that anyone who needs a shelter bring blankets, sleeping bags, pillows, personal hygiene products, medications, and any special food if you're on a restricted diet. We have partners supplying food and water at all operating shelters. And again, our shelter information can be found at scemd.org.
And DHEC also reminds South Carolinians as the storm passes through to stay out of floodwaters. They say in these waters there can be anything from toxins to downed power lines to alligators. And they say a lot of times you will not be able to see these things even in the daylight. Reporting live from the South Carolina Emergency Operations Center in Lexington County, Mary Green, WIS News 10.
All right, Mary, thank you so much for keeping us up to date on the state's emergency response. Continuing our live team coverage tonight, tracking the impacts of Idalia around the Midlands. We are now turning to Orangeburg County.
As Vaughn mentioned earlier, Orangeburg has seen about a little more than 2.5 inches of rain this afternoon. That area does have a history of flooding in places. Ashley Jones is in Orangeburg outside a shelter that is open should anyone experience flooding in their homes tonight. But Ashley, I understand so far nobody is in need of the shelter. It's empty, correct?
Yes, Dondi and Judy here in Orangeburg. We're back here on Broughton Street, right where the shelter is, the first shelter to open up here in the Midlands. Right now, we don't see too much flooding happening in the downtown Orangeburg area. We do see that these roads are very wet. Probably very slippery at the time, so we're asking people to, or city leaders are asking people to stay off of the roads to keep safe. But back here at the city gym, they just opened about an hour ago. Thankfully, no one has come to check in just yet. They do have a lot of volunteers, a lot of workers here ready to help people if they need help. Also, they're asking that if you need to bring anything extra to make you feel more comfortable, any blankets or pillows or anything like that, that you bring it here to the shelter. They're also asking if you have any dietary needs to bring those extra snacks for you. But right now, like I said, not too much damage. We did check in with EMS earlier, and they said that the most damage that they've seen are just a few downed trees, and that's out in Utahville, but specifically here in the city of Orangeburg, not too much damage just yet. They're expecting for that flooding to really pick up later tonight, so we will be out here and we'll continue to monitor that as the storm continues to travel through the Midlands. But for now, reporting here in Orangeburg, I'm Ashley Jones, WIS News 10.
Ashley, thank you very much, and hopefully there won't be a lot of damage to have to report on, but we do want to remind everyone that the National Weather Service says there is still a flash flood warning in Orangeburg, Barnwell, and Bamberg, South Carolina until 9:30 tonight, so just another reason to be very careful if you have to head out and about.
That's right. Stay with us, everyone. We're going to have more coverage of Idalia after the break.
Good feeling about this, yeah, I'm with it. I got a good feeling about this, yeah, so let's get it. I'm feeling good vibes.
When migraine strikes, are the trade-offs of treating worth it? Ubrelvy is another option. It quickly stops migraine in its tracks. Do not take with strong CYP3A4 inhibitors. Allergic reactions to Ubrelvy can happen. Most common side effects were nausea and sleepiness. Ask about Ubrelvy.
There are too many options.
How do we decide what hotel to book? Fear not, I got you. Who are you? I'm your fairy hotel mother.
What is happening?
Let me help you pick a hotel you feel good about. Choice Hotels is a family of brands with a hotel for every type of stay. Like a comfort with the kiddos. Ooh, spacious. Or a Cambria Hotel downtown for just the two of you. Hold my wand, don't wave it at anything. Stay twice and get a $50 gift card when you book direct at choicehotels.com.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Subscribe to WIS on YouTube. Get WIS News 10 on demand when and where you want the latest news stories and investigations. Watch live, stream special events, and never miss a first alert. Just search WIS News 10 on YouTube.
WIS News 10 in HD is sponsored by McWhorter, Bellinger & Associates. I'm Pat McWhorter. Hurt on the job? Call McWhorter, Bellinger & Associates today.
Hey, what's going on?
I've been trying to buy a car. I'm just frustrated.
Start with Smith, Dick Smith Ford. That's where I went for my new car. They have competitive pricing and great salespeople.
During our Discovery Summer Sales Event, get up to $1,500 off MSRP plus 3.9% for 60 months on 2023 Ford F-150 XLT trucks. With hundreds of vehicles in inventory, if you're in the market for a new car, start with Smith. Dick Smith Ford of Columbia.com.
Why do dermatologists worldwide recommend La Roche-Posay? Effective skincare like La Roche-Posay Double Repair Face Moisturizer delivers double action to help repair skin's barrier and provide 48-hour hydration for healthy-looking skin. La Roche-Posay.
Don't get stuck in a traffic headache. Watch WIS First Alert Traffic to avoid bad backups. We'll reboot your morning commute and guide you out of town on your drive home. WIS First Alert Traffic, sponsored by Corner Pantry.
Try new Bojangles chicken wings in classic barbecue in Buffalo. It's bow time.
Well, to make sure that you are prepared for the storm, we've had our crews out all day monitoring conditions around the Midlands, especially as the storm started to pick up.
Right now, our Greg Adeline has a live look at conditions in Clarendon County. He has been in Manning. He joins us now in a car. Greg.
Hey, good evening to you, Dondi and Judy. Actually, we headed back up to Sumter, where we're taking a look at the scene up here as the rain continued to fall at a pretty heavy clip. We're on, it looks like South Ginyard Drive is where we are approaching here. The road's just wet at this point, and as we've shown you pretty much throughout the afternoon, there have been areas that have been ponding, and really this is just kind of the beginning of all this, because this evening it is expected to get pretty bad and pretty bad quickly. A couple of these areas, we're expecting some very heavy rainfall over the next several hours, especially as we get into the overnight hours. One area of concern are some of these rain bands that have been intensifying from time to time. We've seen rain just fall at a very heavy clip, in some cases inundating the sewers, flooding the roadways. If you don't have to be out tonight, certainly stay inside. Don't get on these roadways because it can get dangerous as you're driving along these roads. Water can be much deeper than you anticipate. You might also possibly hydroplane. We've also seen with some of the bands of these storms, in the areas of the low country in particular, we've seen tornadoes spin up. And so situations like this throughout the evening from Idalia could get pretty dire and pretty dire quickly. We're expecting some of the heaviest rain to fall over the next couple of hours. We're keeping an eye on the roadways, and of course, we'll keep you up to date on air and online on WISTV.com. But for now, we're going to send it back to you. I'm Greg Adeline, reporting live on WIS News 10.
Sumter County.
Yes, all right. Greg, thank you very much for the work that you and the whole team, in fact, has been putting in today. We want to turn now to our Cynthia Beasley, who joins us live in the studio.
Cynthia has the latest on power outages across the state, which might continue to go up tonight, Cynthia.
Yeah, Dondi, Judy, that's definitely the concern, because right now things are looking pretty good here in the Midlands. We're seeing about 900 customers out in Richland County. Overall in the state, this is reporting about 22,000 customers out of power. But you can see here the blue, that's what we want to be seeing. That's where we're looking pretty good. Down here, though, Beaufort County is seeing 4,800 customers without power. And like Dondi was saying, could get worse. Officials say they're expecting about 200,000 people to be without power tonight. So earlier, WIS spoke with the president of Dominion Energy in South Carolina. He talked about what Dominion is doing to keep your lights on and how you can stay safe.
Right now, we've got about 9,000 customers out in Beaufort. We've got about 1,500 out in Charleston. But the great thing is, when I just looked at my outage map, we have crews assigned. So they're out there and they'll work. They'll work through the night. As long as the wind speeds don't get over 35 miles per hour, then it's safe, to operate those bucket trucks, and they'll be out there throughout the ordeal.
If you see a down power line, do not go near it. Also saying if a power line falls on your car, stay in your car and call 911. But if it gets to the point where you feel like you have to get out of the car, do not go 1 foot at a time. Jump out 2 feet on the ground and shuffle away to be the safest. Now, we have that full interview on our website, WISTV.com, as well as some more tips to stay safe.
Let's still talk about these power outages. The risk is still there. This is a model that kind of shows where it thinks we'll see some power outages. And it's got scattered power outages in Orangeburg County at around 8 o'clock. It lasts till 9 o'clock towards Clarendon and Sumter County. And as we head towards the 11 o'clock hour, it starts to get a little bit better as the winds start to subside. But tonight, heavy rain, strong winds. It's still a first alert weather day. We've got more coverage coming up.
Whether you're playing in a big game or a little game, if you're suffering from pain or an injury, all you want to do is get back in the game. Palmetto Bone and Joint and the Chapin Orthopedic Surgery Center is the team to rely on to get you there with expert and cutting-edge sports medicine care. Palmetto Bone and Joint can offer the most advanced, minimally invasive sports medicine treatments available in a cost-effective manner. Don't let injuries sideline you. Let the sports medicine specialists at Palmetto Bone and Joint get you back in the game quicker. Palmetto Bone and Joint and the Chapin Orthopedic Surgery Center.
When migraine strikes, you're faced with a choice. Accept the trade-offs of treating, or push through the pain and symptoms. With Ubrelvy, there's another option. One dose quickly stops migraine in its tracks. Treat it anytime, anywhere, without worrying where you are or if it's too late. Do not take with strong CYP3A4 inhibitors. Allergic reactions to Ubrelvy can happen. Most common side effects were nausea and sleepiness. Migraine pain relief starts with you. Ask about Ubrelvy. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
When you get an auto loan with All South Federal Credit Union, you're getting more. More personal service, more convenience, and more flexibility. Get moving with an auto loan you can trust. Experience a better auto loan with All South. Apply online today.
Real-time closed captioning of this program is provided by the state of South Carolina.
Well, we've got the center of the storm that's starting to move into South Carolina right now, right around Hilton Head and Savannah, that whole region there. That's where the eye of the system used to be. It's really run ragged, but that is still the center point. You can see the counterclockwise flow around the center of this low pressure and the lightning that's with the strongest part, which is now pivoting into Orangeburg County. So where we're seeing the lightning, that's where we've got the heaviest rain and strongest winds. Here in Columbia, we've had some downpours, but our heaviest rain has just shifted east just a little bit. We're still not out of the woods when it comes to this, but still some light rain here and some breezy winds. Pontiac, Fort Jackson, still heavy downpours there. Camden, Bethune, Ashwood, and Bishopville, all seeing some heavier rain. We've got Holly Hill, Vance, and Bowman, Branchville, lightning just down to the south around I-26 and I-95. This is where we've got the most rain and the highest winds currently. Now, this system's going to continue over to the east, and you can see the track of it. It's a tropical storm right now with winds at 70 miles per hour. It continues over to the east by 9 o'clock. By 7 in the morning, it's right around Wilmington. That's where the center is, just south of Wilmington, North Carolina. We still have some residual moisture here in our region, and then it continues east, and we're looking pretty good as we head into your Friday and into the weekend as high pressure builds back in over the region. Now, let's talk about the high tides because it's important. It's a king tide tonight, and that means the moon is pulling the water inland. It happens we can plan it. We know when these king tides are going to happen. 9:04 Hilton Head, Charleston 8:24, and 7:53 Myrtle Beach. So here soon we're going to see that king tide. Now the storm surge is going to be on the higher side in that region around Hilton Head and up towards Charleston. We could see around 3 feet of storm surge. Now, Futurecast is showing winds gusting up to 43 to 39 miles per hour, 41 in Sumter, 36 in Bishopville. It starts to push over to the east by 9 o'clock. We still have gusts up to 45 and 41, even 47 St. Matthews. It gets a little bit better, but look at that. Sumter at 10 o'clock, we've got a gust up to 50 miles per hour. So the rain wraps up, but the winds stick with us into the overnight period around 12 o'clock, 34 mile per hour winds, 37 in Bishopville. A few showers in the early morning hours for your Thursday. So how much more additional rain? About 0.6 of an inch in Columbia, 2.3 inches in Sumter, and about a ½ inch around Manning. With more details on the system and how much rain we've already seen, here's meteorologist Vaughn Gaskin.
All right, let's talk about where the official track is. Tropical storm Idalia now starting to cross into South Carolina. At least the center of circulation is starting to move in. We've already been feeling the effects throughout the course of the day today. So this is where we are. We're watching as it begins to move into South Carolina and kind of continues that northeast movement. Lucky for us, it's moving pretty quickly. That helps us because you don't have to worry so much about as much flooding with the faster movement. The slower movement, it drops a lot of water. It sits around for a longer time. Right now, the winds are at 70 miles per hour. I'm pretty sure we'll be getting a new update here pretty soon, and we're going to see the winds decrease and the winds a little bit lower than that. Expected to continue that northeastward movement, probably going through Hendersonville, Summerville, south of Moncks Corner, and then right over Georgetown, Murrells Inlet, and Myrtle Beach before moving offshore, probably around Little River, just to the south of Wilmington. So we'll see if the new update comes out here pretty soon. As we look at where the heaviest rain and wind is, we have to kind of take that with a grain of salt because the entire area is under a flood watch. That means any area could see a flash flood warning at any point, and we do have a few of those going on. The tropical storm warnings are all in the yellow here, and those are all of the counties that are shaded in the yellow there. That tornado watch closer to the coastline now, and those are the areas that have the greatest threat of seeing a tornado, and I think we've had about 4 of those today in our state, certainly more in the other states surrounding it. So right now we're tracking the flash flood warning that's in place for parts of Bamberg, Calhoun, Clarendon, and Orangeburg counties. That flash flood warning here is in the green color that's shaded out here for you. And then there's also another one that's in place for Colleton and Hampton counties. And those are the areas that really did take on some big rain in some areas. And you can see where it is now. The rain, the deeper red colors, those are the communities seeing the rain that's in place now. And that's the rain that's coming down at such a high rate. And the rate of rain coming down higher in those areas. And based on what we're seeing here, rain rates at about 1.5 inches to 1 1/3 inches. That means if it rains for 1 hour in those areas, that's how much rain would be on the ground. So almost 1.5 inches each hour. So it's going to continue to add up. So where are we with our numbers? We're certainly starting to see the numbers add up. We do have some areas here in Orangeburg County that are approaching the 4-inch mark just to the north of the county and in the southern part of the county at about 2.5 inches inches there. Almost 8 inches in areas just over the border into Georgia. Winds are really picking up out of the north. We're seeing wind gusts now in Orangeburg at 32 miles per hour, but maximum wind gusts through the day. The highest gusts I've seen so far, 22 Winsboro, 25 Newberry, 22 Columbia, your wind gusts, 29 Camden, 30 for Florence, and 33 at Shaw Air Force Base. Walterboro has had a 31 mile per hour wind gust, 38 miles per hour in Beaufort, 45 so far in Charleston. And so far, those are the highest gusts I've seen thus far. Rain chances expected to continue through the remainder of the evening. They will be decreasing a little bit, but they're still going to be in place. Tomorrow is a first alert weather day for the morning hours because that's the time that we are tracking some early morning impacts. And you need to make sure that everything is clear before you venture out on the roads. 83, your daytime high. The sunshine comes out in the afternoon. We're able to enjoy the sunshine on Friday. High temperature 83 there, along with Saturday. Overnight lows in the 60s.
Worry Levels, sponsored by Honda of Columbia, where you'll enjoy no-hassle pricing and a no-pressure buying experience. Honda of Columbia, your friendly family Honda dealer.
After almost 2 decades in business, AAA Heating and Air is still here for you.
We are the Midland's #1 family-owned and operated HVAC company.
Still offering the same great benefits to keep your family comfortable year-round. So if your unit's living on borrowed time, it may be time to think about replacing it with a new unit from AAA Heating and Air.
As always, we offer 15 years parts and labor warranty and guaranteed financing on a system replacement.
AAA Heating and Air.
Call today.
What makes a good community great? Is it passion or perseverance? Politics or positivity? Here at WIS, we believe it's you, the people, who make our communities great. Each night at 7:30, we'll be here to shine a light on the untold stories of kindness, compassion, and difference makers here in the Midlands. This is WIS News Primetime, starting September 11th, weeknights at 7:30.
What you looking at, babe?
Cars on cars.com.
What's wrong with this one?
I just got promoted, so I'm looking for something more.
We all deserve more. We all deserve some ice cream! Ice cream! Ice cream! Ice cream!
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao.
Ciao.
2 million cars for 2 million possibilities. Cars.com. Where to next?
Artists like you make our show special.
I would love you to be on my team.
Oh my gosh, that was the worst accent.
You're the science guy.
That's Bill Nye. I'm actually the behavioral science guy. Are you familiar with predictable irrationality? Paradoxical persuasion. Bereavement sex.
That's a thing?
Nothing irrational about that.
Tonight's sports is sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
Welcome back. We're going to have a look at how Idalia is impacting us here in the Midlands, but we want to see how it's impacting other areas in the state. We're going to take a live look here at Charleston, South Carolina, and you can see the waves really picking up there. The big concern there tonight is when high tide hits at 8:24. We could see, as Adam Clark was saying, 3 feet of a storm surge. But we have another video, another live look that we want to show you up here next. That's Kiowa Island, not far off, but seeing the same thing. Waves really coming in and very heavy wind there. So for now, we want to get another look at your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Adam Clark. So Adam, where is it raining the hardest right now in our area?
Well, Orangeburg is really seeing the brunt of it currently. You can see where the lightning is associated with this. The eye right here, and just north of the eye, that's where we've got the heaviest rain currently. And that's going to continue to kind of pivot up to the north into Clarendon County. And so folks in Manning, this is headed in your direction. So you've got lighter rain showers currently, but much heavier rain and tropical downpours moving in. So far in the rain gauges, 2 2.62 in Orangeburg, about an inch in Manning. 1 inch has fallen in Sumter. Here in Columbia, about 66/100ths, and about an inch and a half around Lexington. Here's your 10-day forecast. 83 degrees tomorrow. That 40% chance is in the really early morning hours, and so is that first alert weather day. The afternoon looks breezy and pretty nice with 83 degrees. 83 also Friday and into Saturday. We're in the mid-80s Sunday, and look at those temperatures for lows in the low 60s, upper 80s by Labor Day with abundant sunshine. Stay tuned throughout the night. We'll have more updates.